What's up? It's Nick again, and we are going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes I see writers making when they're talking about publishing, or the biggest publishing mistakes, we'll call it, whatever. I'm sure there's plenty more, but these are the 5 that I see. Some of them I've done. I'm not going to tell you which ones, but you can figure it out. Let's just jump into it. First of all, if you are trying to get a publisher or an agent to listen to you, to pay attention to you, you're just spending all your time querying agents. You're spending all your time sending emails to publishers and begging them to read your amazing manuscript. You're wasting your time. Not because your stuff isn't good. I'm sure it's great. It's the best book ever written. We know. But you should just go self-publish it. Just go throw it out there to the world. Because you're going to find that the world is going to tell you right away whether or not you are worth it or not. So let self-publishing tell you your book's worth. Now, I know that sounds pretty harsh, but the truth of the matter is your book could be very, very great. It could be the best book ever written. And it's just the wrong time. It's just the wrong market. It's just the wrong genre. You haven't really identified what it's truly about. That's sort of what's happening when you're sending it to publishers. Maybe they're in the wrong season. They don't want something like what you've written right now. You could keep trying and eventually go back to the same publishers, the same agents, and say, what about now? But pretty soon they're going to stop listening to you. So I recommend just throwing it out there and seeing what happens. Now, obviously we can talk about marketing and get into that stuff that you should be doing for all these books anyway. But the point of this first mistake is you should just go see what your book can do and try it yourself, because at the very least you're going to get an education. You're going to understand what publishing is all about, what writing is all about. What could happen is maybe something shifts in the market and seasons change or whatever, and all of a sudden your book starts to do really well. My book, The Enigma Strain, profited $80 the first year it was out. And now, well, it makes a little more than that, and it's got about 3,000 reviews. If I had just submitted it to an agent or publisher or 100 different agents and publishers and they all said no, I would have put it in my desk and said, well, nobody wants this book. It's not very good. And now I've built a career on the back of that book. And so I think the first mistake we make is thinking we need to submit, we need to send it to an agent, to a publisher. The world has changed now, and it's continuing to change in favor of indies like me and you. Just go put your book out there. Go upload it to Kindle. Go upload it to Draft to Digital. Go throw it out there and see what happens. You're going to get an education. Mistake number 2. Piggybacking off the first one, the mistake I see people making is saying, okay, Nick, well, I'm not going to submit to an agent or publisher. I'm going to submit to this vanity press. Vanity is when you publish something and they ask you to pay money. That is a vanity publisher, a vanity press. Sometimes they like to call themselves hybrid. They're not. They're lying to you. Sometimes they like to think that they're the new wave of publishing. This is how the future is. It's not. They're lying to you. They're trying to steal your money. Just stay away. I recommend going to the website Writer Beware, and you can go see, you can actually literally look up these different publishers and see that they are not who they say they are. Or at least they're not going to do what they say they're going to do, right? A lot of these packages have marketing included, advertising, promotion. They want to make you think they're doing something when they're not. There's no secret that they have that I don't already know, that you probably already have heard. The truth is, it's hard to market and advertise a book. We all know that. They're not going to do anything for you you cannot do yourself and should do yourself. So mistake number 2 is paying these people more money. A lot of times in these packages, they'll even inflate the real cost of this stuff so that they can make more money off of you. If you are a good, smart business owner, and that's going to be mistake number 3, actually, and you're savvy, then you can go hire a cover designer and you know how much you're paying them and if that cost is inflated by doing research, right? So everything that they say they're going to do, I promise you can do better. I promise. And if you think that I'm wrong, send me an email, right? I'll tell you that I'm right. Like I said, mistake number 3 is not treating your writing like a business, okay? You are in business once you write and try to sell it. Now, you may say to yourself, to make yourself feel better, that I just write for myself. It's just for me and my heart. I write for just the love of it. Well, great. Don't put your stuff out there in the world then. If it's for you, keep it to yourself. That's great. That's a wonderful hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. But the moment you upload it to Amazon or Draft to Digital or Smashwords or wherever to be distributed, you are saying, I've written something good enough that at least one person out there like me will like this thing, okay? And then you become a business person. So don't complain that you're not selling books because you've just put something out there and you refuse to learn anything about marketing or taxes or hiring and firing cover designers and people that you work with. You have to do all those things as an author, as a writer. Again, unless you do have a sweet deal with some publisher, you have to do all this stuff yourself. There's nothing wrong with not doing those things, okay? Don't hear me say that you have to do these, you have to run a business. But again, if you put your stuff out there and want people to buy it, you're saying I have a product. I'm a business now. I have a product and I want people to buy it. Mistake number 4 is not writing in series, not writing book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, and on and on and on and on and on. Now, it doesn't have to be a huge series that goes on for 20 books or 14 like my Harvey Bennett thrillers. It could be a 3-book series. It can be a 6-book series and you finish it. I know a lot of people are very successful with 6 or 9-book series, but the series is done. Hard stop after 9 or after 6. The mistake is that we put out these books and they don't get traction right away. Amazon has sort of changed the game now where they don't like big spikes. They don't want a big promotion like a BookBub promo right away. They tend to like sales over time. And so what I find is that writing in series helps boost that first book every single time I release a new book. This is pretty much true for any platform. Draft2Digital is the same way. All the stores that they send to, the customers of those places like having books in series because they know they can latch on at any point and have a lot more to read. So I highly recommend thinking in terms of series. Even if you just want to write a standalone novel, do a series and then see if you can fit the standalone into your schedule afterward, and then do another series. That would be the way I would do it. Finally, the biggest mistake I see is, and it's hard to say just because it makes me so sad. Mistake number 5 is thinking that this next book is going to be the big one, right? If I just write this book, I've spent so much time, my whole heart is in this book. I've put everything I've got into it. I can't do this again. This has to be the big one. Because what happens? We're disappointed. Our expectations are so high that they cannot be fulfilled. And now I'm not saying to treat your book like it's crap, because it's not. It's better than that. But know what it is and move on. Because you will not build a career off one book. You will build a career off of many books, okay? Lots of books over time. This is why the entire group 20 Books to 50K was formed. The idea of writing constantly and continuing to release and publish. You won't make it big. The vast majority of you, including me, are not going to make it big off of one book. I don't expect my next book to be the next one, and I've written 40-something of them. I'm just going to feed the marketplace with more and more Nick Thacker books until the day I die, and we'll see what happens along the way. So don't think that the next book's going to be the big one, because you're probably going to be disappointed, and you'll be in this state of misery, and you won't want to write anymore, and you'll think your stuff is bad. And it's the same problem as querying all these agents and publishers over and over again and thinking that your book is bad because they don't want it. It's not. It's just a product. Put it out there. Move on to the next one. Easy peasy. So those are the 5 biggest mistakes that I see authors making in terms of publishing related mistakes, let's call them. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.